Ghost cats, ghost cats, ghost cat, ghost cat.
Okay, who's your favorite fictional ghost?
I don't know. Not Patrick Swayze.
But
The Changeling, that's a great ghost movie. George C. Scott. Anyways.
I actually just watched this really cool Korean drama series last year called Master's Son, about this woman who can see ghosts, and then when she's like with this guy that she likes, she can touch him, and then she can't see the ghost anymore. And some of them are like kind of scary ghosts, and some of them are funny. Like there's this one called Trash Can Ajashi, and he just sits the trash can in the mall where they work. And so the trash can goes like this all the time. And so sometimes it scares people, or sometimes you could like ask him a question like, oh, trash can ajashi, oh, was so-and-so here? And then he'll hit it and it'll spin, the lid will spin as an answer. So that was pretty good. And then of course some of them are sad and some of them are angry or like kind of scary. But it was a really cool series. And it started out like pretty dark. And then of course that Korean drama got so like sweet at the end. But it was really cool because there were ghosts in every episode. That's one reason I like a lot of Korean shows, because they have really funny supernatural elements in them, like vampires or other kind of things. Fox Ghost, I saw that one with that, and that was really cool.
Okay, so you're inspired by other people's artwork of ghostly kind of characters. What other art have you seen that you really like that features ghosts or dead people or macabre themes?
That's a great question. There's an artist, the same artist of the t-shirt I'm wearing, Helen Jo, and on my wall over there, there's a picture of, it's like a representation of a Filipino ghost called an aswang. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's a ghost which leaves her legs in the grass and her guts are hanging out, and she flies around and she steals newborn babies. So that's like has a pretty important place on like my art wall because it's really cool and creepy. I don't really like a lot of creepy art usually, but this artist has a really cool kind of representation of that, and it's just someone flying with their guts out. So I kind of got into horror art a little bit with following her stuff. It's not super horrific, but there's also this other artist I like called Stacy Rosich, I think is how you say her name. And she has watercolor art, which is really ominous. It's not straight up horrible, but it's these weird scenes of people or animal-ish people, kind of like sometimes they're dead or like eating each other, or like someone has a gun and someone's drinking beer, and it's like they're very bright colors and with really intricate painted clothing, but there's almost always like an undercurrent of creepiness or an ominous feeling, and I really like that because the art, it's so the creepiness is juxtaposed against like the colorful and vibrant nature of the paintings, that if you pay attention you're like, oh, something's going really bad here, but you don't necessarily see that on the
I mean, I guess further to that, one of the filmmakers that I found really influential when I was doing a lot of film work, and still in sort of my ideas for ghost cats for some of the panels, was Mario Bava. He was a 1960s, really active in the 60s Italian filmmaker who did a lot of horror movies, and a couple of the movies of his that I really liked that were really influential were titled in North America Black Sunday and Black Sabbath. And one of them is about these, it's actually the original title is like The Mask of the Demon or something, but it's about this witch who is executed, and she comes back to life and sort of terrorizes this family, and it's all in black and white, very atmospheric, really interesting use of like lighting and stuff like that. And his other one is sort of Three Tales of Terror. I think that might even be the original title, but it's different stories, one of which is kind of a ghost story. It's called The Drop of Water, and it's about this woman who is kind of haunted by the sound of dripping water. There's a dead body in a bed, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, but one of the other stories is about the Wordalak, which is like an Eastern European kind of vampire that haunts this family, and there's like a little child vampire, which is terrifying. The Wordalak. So those two films are really two of my favorites, and again, like what you're saying, the color scheme, especially in his color work, lots of bright, garish colors, really almost very lively looking, but at the same time the subject matter is very dark and creepy and disturbing, and it really accents what's going on in the frame.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because when you think of something as like being horror or otherworldly and it's all dark, then it seems very natural, and it's kind of cool to have the comparison of like the dark subject matter with presented in a way that's maybe not typical or what you wouldn't expect.